What kind of unhinged human being wakes up one day and thinks, you know what? I'm going to date Spider-Man. You ever wonder what possesses someone to look at Peter Parker, a man whose life is 70% violence, 20% guilt, and 10% rent anxiety, and think, yes, I want to date that? Because being Spider-Man's girlfriend is more of a survival sport than it is romance. A hobby for people who look danger in the eye and say, make it personal. Loving Peter Parker is basically like adopting a stray cat. If the cat regularly fought war criminals, came home bleeding, and occasionally had an existential crisis about responsibility. Mary Jane, kidnapped so often she probably has a loyalty card with every villain in New York. Gwen Stacy, well, her relationship didn't just end. It plummeted. Black Cat, she's basically dating Spider-Man and crime at the same time. So today we're diving into the multiversal horror story known as Why It Sucks to Be Spider-Man's Girlfriend. Spoiler, it's not the relationship. It's everything trying to kill you because of it. Dating Spider-Man isn't a romance arc. It's a medical emergency waiting to happen. Every woman who dates Peter Parker gets instantly enrolled in the world's worst loyalty program. Congratulations! You're now a target. You don't get relationship perks. You get trauma side quests. You know how normal couples argue about taking out the trash? Spider-Man's girlfriends argue about why a man dressed like a traffic light just tried to kidnap them again. Being with Peter Parker is essentially dating the human equivalent of a tornado siren. He means well, he tries his best, but anytime he shows up, there's 100% chance your day is about to get destroyed. The universe doesn't just dislike Peter, it treats him like a walking emotional hazard. And everyone he loves becomes part of the blast radius. Mary Jane has been kidnapped so many times she's basically on first-name terms with New York's entire criminal underworld. Gwen Stacy, her relationship didn't just end. It got archived in the Smithsonian under Reasons Spider-Man Needs Therapy. Black Cat, she's dating Spider-Man, crime, and her own commitment issues at the same time. Honestly, respect. Because being Spider-Man's girlfriend is never peaceful. It's never simple. It's never safe. It's basically romantic Russian roulette with bonus emotional damage. And the worst part, Peter Parker genuinely means well. He's trying his hardest. But the universe has him on a subscription plan for pain. And his girlfriends get the family bundle. Let's get one thing straight. Nobody intends to date Spider-Man. It just happens. Like food poisoning or accidentally liking someone's Instagram post from 2014. At first, Peter Parker tricks you. He comes packaged like a normal guy, shy smile, camera in hand, the emotional stability of a houseplant. You think, aw, he's quirky. No, he's not quirky. He's malfunctioning. Your first few dates feel harmless. He's late, but in a cute way. He's distracted, but in a wow, he's mysterious way. You think you're dating a soft-spoken nerd with bad posture. You're actually dating New York City's most overworked trauma magnet. And it starts small. Little weird things. He shows up with bruises he can't explain. He knows things he shouldn't know. He disappears faster than your motivation on a Monday morning. Then comes the exact moment you realize your life is over. He stands you up because of an errand. And the next morning, the news casually reports that the errand was a giant reptile man punching a bus. That's when it hits you. Your boyfriend doesn't have a busy schedule. Your boyfriend has natural enemies. And from that moment on, you stop being his partner and start being the unpaid intern in a horror movie disguised as romance. Because once Peter Parker enters your life, stability exits through the nearest window. Often because Peter just swung through it. Here's the part nobody warned you about. Peter Parker isn't just physically chaotic. He is emotionally built like a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Dating him feels like you're constantly soothing a man who apologizes for everything. Even things he did in another timeline. You don't comfort Peter Parker. You stabilize him, like an emotional spotter at a mental gym. And it's not the big stuff that breaks you. It's a drip feed of tiny psychological crimes. He'll show up to your apartment window at 3 a.m. covered in bruises, whispering, "I didn't want to worry you." Bro, you are literally bleeding on my IKEA furniture. The worry has already arrived. It's sitting on my couch, drinking tea. But the worst part, even when he's with you, he's not with you. Peter's brain is like a tab browser with 57 open tabs, and one of them is always flashing, crime in progress. You're trying to have a real conversation, something meaningful, vulnerable, adult, and halfway through your sentence he stiffens like a golden retriever hearing a distant car door. "Sorry, I have to go." And before you can say communication issues, he's already vanished into the night like a sad urban cryptid. But here's the emotional trap. He always comes back. Every time you think, "That's it, I'm done," he swings into your life again, guilt-ridden and earnest, whispering promises he can never realistically keep. And you believe him. You believe him because Peter Parker has weaponized sincerity so hard it should be illegal in all 50 states. Loving him feels heroic. Losing him feels inevitable. And trying to do both at the same time feels like your heart is auditioning for a stunt double position. Look, everyone thinks dating a superhero would feel like living in a Marvel trailer. You imagine him swooping into your life like, "Don't worry, I got you." While the city sparkles behind him and soft music plays, in your head, every problem becomes a romantic moment. Missed your bus? He swings in. Stressful day? He lands on your balcony. Need comfort? Boom, upside down kiss. That's the fantasy. But dating Spider-Man isn't cinematic. It's chaos cosplay. You picture rooftop picnics. In reality, you're sitting on a cold ledge while he eats half his sandwich in 0.3 seconds because the police scanner won't shut up. You imagine cute goodnight messages. Instead, you get, "Sorry babe, can't talk. Guy with a rhino horn just robbed the bank." You expect forehead kisses. You get half hugs because he's covered in bruises and possibly other people's drywall. And the worst part, you keep telling yourself, "But he means well." Yeah, so does a golden retriever that runs through a glass door. Every time you try to ground the relationship in reality, bills, work, emotional presence, Spider-Man does Spider-Man things. Suddenly, he's out the window, leaving you with your feelings, your dinner, and a breeze. Dating him isn't a love story. It's a delusion you keep trying to resize to fit his lifestyle. Like shoving your life into a suit that rips every time he jumps off a building. By this point, you've accepted that dating Peter Parker is not normal. But you haven't accepted the worst part yet. The universe is actively trying to end your relationship. And it's not subtle. There's no wise warning, no prophetic dream, no choose another path mentor moment. No, the universe hits you with the precision of a drunk Uber driver doing 140 in a school zone. You wake up thinking, maybe today will be peaceful. The universe hears that and responds by dropping a supervillain on your doorstep like, LOL, absolutely not. Every time things feel stable, reality throws a brick through the window. Or throws you through the window. Purely for comedic effect. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's karma. Maybe the multiverse spun a wheel and landed on emotional suffering. But the timing, that's what really breaks you. You finally get Peter alone, finally get one sincere moment. And boom, a swirling portal opens behind you like reality itself refuses to let this relationship progress past level 1 trauma bonding. And then, the alternate universes. Nothing destabilizes you like discovering that in 12 other timelines, you didn't just break up with Spider-Man, you died because of him. How do you process that? You're drinking a latte and your brain whispers. Fun reminder, in Universe 23, you exploded. Even worse, Peter has seen these versions of you. He carries their ghost memories around like emotionally devastating baseball cards. At this point, the universe isn't testing your love, it's roasting you. Because once you date Spider-Man, the world stops being a place you live in and starts being a place that tries to break you for sport. Your social life doesn't change when you date Peter Parker. It disintegrates instantly, like a background building in one of his fights. At first, you try to pretend everything's normal. You tell your friends you're just busy when the truth is you missed brunch because a villain tried to use your boyfriend as modern art. You skipped game night because Peter got thrown through another city landmark. Your friends don't think you're dating a superhero. They think you're dating someone who's either on the run, in a cult, or medically incapable of answering texts. And your parents, you bring Peter home like he lost a wrestling match with gravity, and your mom gives you the "sweetie, blink twice if he's holding you hostage" face. But the worst part isn't the lying, it's how bad you get at it. Because no matter what story you come up with, reality refuses to help. You're out for dinner trying to act normal, and Spider-Man crashes through a window across the street like a chaotic kangaroo. Everyone gasps. You take a calm sip of your drink like you don't recognize the shape of your boyfriend's scream. And slowly, the isolation creeps in. You can't tell your friends the truth. You can't explain the chaos. You can't open up to anyone without putting them in the blast radius. So, you stop trying. Your social life doesn't fade. It gets vaporized. Because when you date Peter Parker, every relationship you had becomes collateral damage. And you're stuck loving a man who can't even show up to dinner without attracting a supervillain. There's a moment, and it always comes late, where the chaos finally goes quiet. No villains, no portals, no explosions in the distance, just silence. And that's when the real damage shows up, because dating Peter Parker doesn't break you loudly, it breaks you quietly. In the spaces between the chaos, when your brain finally has room to think and immediately regrets it. You lie awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, asking yourself questions no healthy person should ever have to consider. Is this love? Or am I accidentally starring in a tragic backstory? Because somewhere along the way, the relationship stops feeling like romance and starts feeling like a prequel to your obituary. And the worst part, Peter isn't the villain in your story, he's the tragedy. He loves you with this desperate, almost painful sincerity. And like he's terrified you'll disappear if he blinks too hard, and that hits you deeper than any explosion ever could. Because he means it, every apology, every promise, every shaky half smile he gives you when he comes back from a fight looking like he lost to an elevator. But that sincerity is a trap, a beautiful, heartbreaking trap. Because you start wanting to fix him. You start wanting to protect him from the world, even though the world is actively trying to kill you just for standing near him. And you start believing that maybe, just maybe, if you love him hard enough, the universe will give him a break. It won't. Peter Parker is cosmically allergic to happiness. Every time he gets a taste of peace, reality immediately slaps it out of his hand like a strict parent. A quiet date, attack, a tender moment, dimensional rift, a rare soft confession. The multiverse spawns a newer, shinier version of you just to ruin your day. But here's the part no one tells you. Loving Spider-Man doesn't turn you into a victim. It turns you into something else. Something tougher. Someone who survives what should have broken them. Someone who grows in the cracks. It doesn't give you a fairy tale. It gives you an origin story. So, if you ever find yourself falling for Peter Parker, don't think of it as dating a superhero. Think of it as signing a permission slip for chaos. You don't become his girlfriend, you become canon. Your heartbreak becomes backstory. Your trauma becomes motivation. Your survival becomes plot armor. And honestly, in the Spider-Man universe, that's the most dangerous job there is. But hey, at least you'll remember, because once you date Spider-Man, you're not a civilian anymore. You're part of the lore.